Hey everyone, ever notice how tiny word choices can make a huge difference? Today, we're going to look at 3 super common phrases from Filipino English and find some simple tweaks to make them sound even more natural to an American audience. Let's jump right in.
Okay, first things first, let's get this straight. Filipino English is awesome. It's its own valid, rich, and totally understood dialect. So what we're doing here isn't about correcting anything. Not at all. Think of this as just adding a couple of extra tools to your communication toolkit, you know? Especially for when you're in those international settings.
The word we're going to be using a lot today is Filipinism. So what is that exactly? Well, it's just a phrase that's completely normal and makes perfect sense in the Philippines, but to an American English speaker, it might sound a little bit unusual or maybe even mean something slightly different. Our whole goal here is to just smooth out those little bumps for crystal clear communication.
So why even bother with these tiny word choices? Well, here's the thing. When you're in a global setting, maybe a business meeting, you want your amazing ideas to be the star of the show, right? Not the specific words you use to say them. Getting this stuff down just helps your message land perfectly.
All right, let's get into our first phrase. This one is all about offering food, and it's a perfect example of how one tiny little word, a preposition, can change the entire picture. So picture this. You say to an American colleague, "Hey, let's have a snack on the table." Sounds simple, right? What could possibly be confusing about that? But what kind of mental image does that phrase accidentally create for them?
Believe it or not, it can sound like you're literally suggesting you eat the table itself. I know, it's hilarious, right? But it's just a funny example of how native speakers are hardwired to hear prepositions in a very specific way.
And the fix is so simple. In American English, the rule of thumb is you eat at a location, like a table or a desk, and the food itself is on the surface. So just swapping on for at makes it sound instantly natural. Or you could even just say, "Hey, the snacks are on the table." Easy peasy.
Okay, next up, phrase number 2. We're moving out of the break room and into the office, talking specifically about how you confirm that a meeting is still happening.
So a super common phrase in Filipino business English is "the meeting will push through," which comes straight from the Tagalog word tuloy. Makes total sense. But in an American office, what does that phrasal verb push through actually make you think of?
Yeah, see, in American English, pushing through implies a struggle. It means you had to overcome some kind of difficulty or opposition to get something done. So while you just mean, "Hey, the meeting is confirmed," you might accidentally be hinting that there was some big drama or a fight behind the scenes to make it happen.
So a much more neutral, straightforward way to say it is simply, "the meeting will proceed as planned." It's direct, it's professional, and there's absolutely no hidden story of a struggle.
And hey, just to add another option to your toolkit, if it's a more casual setting, you can just say, "the meeting is still on." Totally natural, super common, gets the exact same point across. All right, on to our third and final phrase. This one's about money, specifically talking about limited budgets, which, let's be real, is a pretty common topic. Now, the issue here isn't a totally different meaning. It's more about an incomplete phrase.
Okay, listen closely to this sentence. "We will just make do the current budget." To an American English speaker, it feels like it's missing something at the end. Can you spot that one tiny but super important word that's missing? You got it! It's that little word with. The complete standard phrasal verb is to make do with, and it just means to manage with whatever you have, even if it's not a lot.
So you can really see the difference here. By just popping that little word with on the end, you complete the phrasal verb, and the whole sentence sounds perfectly fluent. It's such a tiny change, but it really does make a huge impact.
Awesome. We've gone through all 3. Now let's do a super quick recap just to lock these into your communication toolkit for good.
Okay, let's run through them one more time. Instead of having a snack on the table, we're going to have it at the table. Check. Instead of a meeting pushing through, it will proceed as planned. Got it. And instead of trying to make do the budget, we will make do with the budget. Simple, clear, and super effective.
And honestly, that's the whole point. This isn't about memorizing complex grammar rules. It's about these small, subtle tweaks that can make a really big, positive difference in how smoothly you connect with your audience.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What are the tiny little word choices we all make every day that have the biggest impact on how we connect with people? Definitely something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me for this one.